Welcome to JVR Industries. Today we're going to show you how to seal liquids in your chamber vacuum sealer. That's right. We're going to show you 5 different steps or principles that you can apply to your JVR VAC 100 chamber vacuum sealer in order to maximize vacuum draw, demote freezer burn, promote seal integrity, and lastly, prevent those rapid boilovers from making a big old mess in your chamber. So stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. So we're going to go into all 5 steps on how to maximize that vacuum draw, stop that freezer burn from happening, prevent those rapid boilovers, and obviously you want to make sure you're promoting the best seal integrity. So step number 1 is going to be pre-chill your product. Now, why should you pre-chill your product before throwing it into your chamber vacuum sealer? That's very simple, to prevent rapid boil over from happening. Now you might be asking yourself, how is the product boiling at room temperature or even chilled in this unit? Well, let me go over that really briefly. So atmospheric pressure in a chamber vacuum sealer is much like that of a mountain peak. Because the atmospheric pressure shifts, so does the boiling point. So say you were at a peak of a mountain, you're gonna see that your boiling point drops because of that atmospheric pressure, so you actually boil quicker in the mountains than you do in the valleys. So in the same concept of a chamber vacuum sealer, except amplified, you're seeing this in room temperature products and even pre-chilled products. So that is why we are suggesting to pre-chill to stop that from happening. That way your product doesn't boil over and make a big mess in your chamber vacuum sealer. Now, before we get into step number 2, let's really quickly go over step number 1 again. The reason why we're pre-chilling these products is to maximize vacuum draw. So I'm gonna leave little clips towards the end of this video that show the difference in megapascal measurements of what the vacuum draw is pre-chilled product versus room temperature product. And then you can kind of decide, is it really worth it for your process? I believe it's worth it because now you're getting more of that oxygen out of the pouch. Now you're lengthening the lifespan of your product. So definitely check out those little snippets towards the end of the video. Okay, step number 2 is really simple. It's preventing poor seal integrity. So these liquids, when they get poured into these pouches, oftentimes that liquid will get into this area where that seal needs to take place. If any of that liquid is left behind in that seal area, it can cause seal failure. So make sure that you take step number 2, which is taking a paper towel and wiping the mouth of the pouch after you pour it in here. Or you can do the simple mouth fold where you fold it back, pour it in, and then fold the pouch back up, and it's ready to be sealed. So into step number 3. So another vital step is step number 3, and that's angling your pouches at roughly 20 degrees or so. That way you're gravity feeding the liquids to the base of the pouch. That way when rapid boiling does take place, you have somewhat of an insurance policy against it climbing out of the pouch and making a big old mess. So we suggest using a little less filler plates than you would with solid products. That way you can increase that angle and gravity feed it to the base of that pouch. And that way when it does boil, you have a little time to hit that skip function and move into the next cycle. Now on to step number 4. So this step is quite critical as well, and that is ensuring that you have enough mouth space from the top of the mouth of the pouch to the liquid itself, and you could also call it headspace. Now, what I mean by that is, if you take this and you were to slide all this liquid down to the bottom, right? Here's your mouth space or headspace in your pouch, creating that void or that gap from the seal there. Now it's gonna take that much longer for it to climb out of the pouch. So that extra mouth space is another insurance policy to make sure that you have a mess-free situation and promote seal integrity, because your reducing the probability of that liquid getting into the seal area. So the one thing that's extremely cool about steps 1 through 4 is a lot of these can be applied to any chamber vacuum sealer in the market. And you can actually retrofit it to an external vacuum sealer or edge suction vacuum sealer. So feel free to use steps 1 through 4 for those situations. Now, as far as step 5, this is quite specific to this chamber vacuum sealer. Now, not every chamber vacuum sealer has this functionality, but it's called the skip functionality. That's step number 5. And using skip will actually allow you to exit out of the vacuum cycle prematurely and enter into the seal cycle. And the importance of this is you don't have to stop all 3 cycles. You can just enter into the next cycle. That way you ensure that you have a mess-free situation on your hands and you're pulling as much vacuum as possible out of that pouch. Well, we hope this video has been extremely informative on how to vacuum seal liquids in a chamber vacuum sealer. Now, step 5 obviously was tailored to the JVR Vac 100 chamber vacuum sealer. And if this is the first time you're hearing about this unit, feel free to check out the link below. We have a bunch of write-up on it, and if you have any questions, feel free to call our office 716-206-2500, 716-206-2500. We're available from 8:30 a.m. till 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Feel free to call us with any questions. We have a fully non-automated telephone service, and we would love to help you out. Okay, guys, well, once again, we're so grateful to be able to share our 50+ years of vacuum packaging experience with you all. If you have any further questions on this process, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Also, do not forget to hit subscribe and hit the notification bell below. That way you can be notified on future videos from JVR Industries. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys soon.